Hello and welcome to the National Stadium this afternoon. We are a couple minutes behind, but we're about to start the Velocity Fest 8 inside the National Stadium. It is now 4:32 p.m. A lovely afternoon for some track and field. Right now we have the triple jump, women's triple jump about to go on. Two competitors in that one. We have Shanika Ricketts. She is our Jamaican Diamond League champion from 2019, also finished second at the World Championships in Doha that year. She represents Ricketts Performance Track Club, and she's competing against her teammate, Sandisha Antoine. Sandisha Antoine, a St. Lucian athlete, has jumped 13.91 meters at her best. Both athletes opened their season last week here inside the National Stadium at the J3A's qualification trials. Antoine jumped 12.90 meters at that meet, and she's looking to get better, I'm sure, this week. So as we can see now, the athletes are just getting warm and ready to compete. Triple jump, a very technical event. Includes a hop, skip, and a jump phase. That is Shanika Ricketts now on the runway, just going through her motions before the start of this one. Her teammate behind her, Sandisha Antoine, adorned in the black Adidas top. Both athletes trained by coach Kerry Lee Ricketts at the Wimona Bowl. He has been doing some great work there, Coach Ricketts. Actually married to Shanika Ricketts, so they have had quite the successful partnership over the past couple of years. So as the athletes get prepared for the triple jump event, just want to give you a rundown of some of the events we can anticipate to see later on in the day. We have the women's 400 meters followed by the men's 400. After this, we'll have the women's 200 meter dash followed by the men's 200 meter dash. Then we'll have the men's 110 meter hurdles, and we'll round out the evening with the women's and men's 100 meters. And expect some exciting competition throughout the day today. Thank you so much for being with us now.
Excelsior continues to hold the advantage. Queens in second. So into the straightaway they come. It's Excelsior holding the advantage now. Excelsior from the Queen's School.
So both the women's and men's triple jump are scheduled to be happening as well this afternoon. And there are 3 competitors for the men. That is Tevin Dunn, also of Ricketts Performance, Siobhan Parkinson of GC Foster, and Doman Williams of Ricketts Performance as well. So the gentlemen you are seeing there will be preparing to compete just after the females.
So 3:54.06 for Excelsior, 4 minutes 01.22 for the Queen's School. Melbourne comes across the line now to complete the top 3. And then they're followed by Ronda. 4:19.21 for Earl Grove in third.
So all the athletes we're seeing here will be hoping to qualify for the Olympics later on this year. outside of Shanika Ricketts in the female triple jump. Don't have much more qualifiers on Jamaican soil, in fact. She's the only one training in Jamaica as a current Olympic qualifier. Sandisha Antoine, her training partner, 12.90 meters last week. She'll need to jump at 14.32 meters to make it. So she has some distance to go, but I'm sure she's working hard and is hoping to better her performance from last week. So with me today will be Mr. Davian Nugent. He'll be helping me call the races and some of the events in the field. Mr. Nugent?
Afternoon, track and field fans. First time here on Track Alerts, and it's a pleasure to be with the Track Alerts family. As Mr. Tapper said, we'll be bringing you through the Velocity Fest today. We'll be providing you with commentary and also results. But as you probably know, we've had some track events and field events earlier today for the juniors, the corporate area development meet going on. Currently, we're just waiting on that to be completed so we can provide you with the senior athletes' performances. But just want to provide you with some quick results from the corporate area development meet. We can provide you with the results. We just cannot show you what's going on the track. We're privy to the results, so we can give you those results. Can't give you the actual track events. So I'll start with the 100 meters. Interesting results, Mr. Tapper, in the 100 meters, particularly in the boys class 1 event. We had some interesting results there. The former Glenmuir man, that's Zidane Brown, stepping down from the 200, 400, stepping down to the 100 today. And for me, he looked very good in his event. Looked relaxed and looked as if there's more there, but still coming through for the win in 10.64 seconds. Actually ran that 10.6 into a negative headwind, 0.8 meters per second. And with 5 more weeks to go until the championships, ISA Boys and Girls Championships 2021, Zidane Brown must be one of those to watch for that 100 meters on Friday night when the 100 meters are run at the championships. Also want to provide you with some interesting results. Just picking out some of the things that caught my eyes, Mr. Tapper. The boys class 3 400 meters. In that race, it was a crackerjack of a race where Jamaica College's Amari Robinson, he won in 50.57 seconds, and in seconds was Raquel Reed of Calabar in 50.63 seconds. Both athletes dueling it out to the line, and certainly both athletes, based on the time they ran today and the time between now and championships, would be looking to get to sub 50 by the time we get to championships. Sub 50 at class 3 is special, special, special. As again, we can provide you commentary on the race here, the final race. Jamaica College coming through in the 400 meters in 3 minutes 10.74. And it looks as if Excelsior is second. We'll get the time for you shortly. It's 3 minutes 11.01 for Excelsior in second. But that concludes the juniors. That's the corporate area development meet. And the next event on track and in the field will be the senior athletes, the Velocity Fest, that we know you're all joining in for and expecting super fast actions. We'll give you some of the athletes you're going to be seeing on the track later. Just run through some of the start lists for me, Mr. Tapper.
Sure, no problem. So we'll have one section of the women's 400 meter dash. In that race, we'll see Gayle Whyte, Christine Day, Candice Mccloud, Genevieve Russell, Vanessa Crooks, Onika McAnuff, and Trishana Harris. Of note, in the men's 400 meters, we'll have 2 heats going off there. You see the likes of Terry Thomas, represented Jamaica at the Doha World Championships in 2019. Against him, we'll have Malik James King. He's from Legacy Athletics, star athlete at Calabar a couple years ago. We'll also have Asafa Powell. He'll be running in heat 1 of the men's 400 meters. Ran 400 meters last week. My apologies. Got out to a pretty slow start and ran home. So let's see how he decides to run this one this week. In the women's 200 meter dash, scheduled to compete in heat 1, we have Tiffany James Rose, first Jamaican woman to ever win the World Junior 400 meter title. Steps down to 200 meters today. Against her will be Shashalee Forbes. Shashalee Forbes, a national representative as well, at 200 meters. And in section 2 of 2 in the women's 200 meters, we'll have the likes of Stephenie-Ann McPherson. She's from MVP, many times national representative at 400 meters, a part of that medal winning squad in Doha last year in the 4x4s. Against her, though, we'll have Sada Williams, the Bajan athlete there training at the MVP track club. She's had a great season so far. We'll get to see how far she'll go today. And rounding off the field will be none other than, many call her the queen of sprinting, perhaps the best or one of the best female sprinters we've seen of all time. That would be Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. In the men's 110, just 3 competitors there. Name to look out for there should be Rashid Broadbell, young sprint hurdler from MVP. Ran an impressive season opener last week, and I'm sure he'll be hoping to get faster this week. He'll be having eyes on the Olympic qualifying time. In the women's 100 meter, the one to watch should be Shimeria Williams. She was last week's winner in 11.33. That was a new personal best for her, and she represents elite performance now. In lane 6, though, we also have competing against her Jodine Williams of Racers Track Club. And then when you look to lane 3, we'll have Ashanti Moore running for Adidas. She was the champs champion in 2019. Ran an impressive 11.1 seconds to win that race. So that should be an exciting race. And that in the women's 100 meters later on today. And in the final event of the afternoon will be the men's 100 meters. Now in that 100 meters, we'll see the likes of Tajay Gayle, national long jump champion. Also Oshane Bailey, national champion over 100 meters in 2010. Running against him will be Nigel Ellis, MVP, sprint double champion a couple years ago at Champs. He'll be running against Nesta Carter and Tyreke Williams. So quite a few big names coming up. So stay with us for the exciting races.
And I must say, Mr. Tapper, exciting races on the calendar. I'm especially excited to see Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, the world champion, defending world champion in the 100 meters. Excited to see her today. Was a little bit worried. We had a few meets I hadn't seen Shelly. So it's good to see her out and performing today. Tajay Gayle is also here. She's named down for the 100 meters. And again, he's been competing now. He's competed a couple of times since the start of the season. Actually, got over 8 meters. The one time I saw him in a long jump, he got over 8 meters. So he seems to be in good form, trying to put in some early speed in the season. Asafa Powell, of course, will be in the 400. He trying to get some endurance work in early. But for me, it's the women's 200 meters that looks like it will be the race of the Velocity Fest. Packed field. Shimeria Williams has been running well early season. Shimeria, of course, from Barbados, but training with the MVP camp. We mentioned Shelly-Ann Fraser. She'll be running in the 200 meters. We also have the likes of Tiffany James Rose, got married to Jamari Rose very recently. So, in case you're wondering who that is, that's Tiffany James, former world junior champion at 400 meters. We also have Anastasia Leroy. But I'll throw to you now, Mr. Tapper. You could give us some more commentary.
Okay, so on the runway now, Shanika Ricketts just about to compete. The officials are just about ready for her. So this is her first attempt in the women's triple jump event today. 2 competitors. And she looks poised and ready. Tall figure of Shanika Ricketts. So much experience. One of the best triple jumpers we have seen in Jamaica. I'm sure she inspires a lot of young Jamaican females at the high school level. Being a world beater in the triple jump, something we haven't seen in Jamaica for a while.
While that is happening, the women's 400 meters are stepping onto the track.
Signals to the cloud for some support. Eyeing down the runway.
Listed in the lane 2, Whyte from Jura. Lane number 3,
Great execution there for Shanika Ricketts' performance. She gets the white flag, which means it is a legal jump. Won't be able to get the measurement just yet. I'm sure she won't be unhappy about that effort.
Number 7, and number 8,
as we prepare now for Heat 1 of the women's 400 meters. Heat 1 of 1.
They put the person to look for. Also note lane 7, 52.78. All yours, Mrs. Sada.
So your starters in this one, Gabrielle Whyte. She goes in out of lane 2. Christine Dane in 3. Candice Mccloud in 4. Jenny Burchell runs out of lane 5. Vanessa Crooks in lane 6. And Makanoff, 2019 Class 3 400 meter champion, goes out in lane number 7. sent on their way now. First time of asking the first event on track here at the Velocity Fest 8, and Genevieve Russell already making ground on Vanessa Crooks with 300 meters to run. Russell and Candice Mccloud looking best of all. Candice in the red top and blonde hair, seemingly. And those two continue to lead. So 200 meters, Genevieve Russell ahead of Candice Mccloud. Christine Day beginning to chase now. And Genevieve is responding. Those three now, Genevieve Russell. Candice Mccloud is chasing, and so too Christine Day. It should be a close one to the line. Candice Mccloud is fighting. Russell trying to hold her off, and she will. Stops the clock at 51.73 seconds. That's Genevieve Russell, two-time national champion at 400-meter hurdles. Had a season best of 52.25. That is now 51.77. In second, fast finishing was Candice Mccloud at 51.94, and finishing third, Christine Day, 52.53 seconds. Fourth was Makanoff, 53.77. In fifth was Whyte. Just waiting to get the time there, 54.20 seconds. Oh, it's been changed now. So Whyte given fifth. Trying to follow the teleprompter here, but that's the end of that one. So great run there from Russell, 51.77 for a new season best.
I just want to say, Mr. Tapper, I expect that sort of run from the likes of Genevieve Russell and Christine Day. They are seasoned professionals. They've made national teams before. Genevieve Russell, certainly one that we've watched over the years make teams after teams, as well as Christine Day. But I was certainly impressed with Candice Mccloud. She seems to be making a step up. She had a personal best coming in of 52.28. She decimated that personal best, going under 52 seconds for the first time, going 51.94. So she seems as if she's going in the right direction, and that would be crucial for our 4x4 team in the Tokyo Olympics. So Candice Mccloud is now added to the list of 400 ladies I'll be watching later on in the season. Traveled well for 300, came under a little bit of pressure at the top of the straight from Genevieve Russell, and still managed to hold on for a PB and a decent time in 51.94.
Yeah, definitely agree with you there. She has been having a great season so far. Ran a great 200 meters earlier in the season, and represented herself well. On track now, Heat 1 at the men's 400 meter. No Asafa Powell in this one. Starters for or Keno Burrell. He's in lane 4. Murray of GC Foster in 5. Devon Baker, he's in 6. Jackson, St. Vincent, he's in 7. And Limanzo, he's out in lane 8. So Baker moving best of all now. It's about 250 meters to go. Burrell is there, and so too Murray. As they round 200 meters to go. This one is going to be a close one. Seems Keno Burrell though beginning to press his advantage on the inside. So with 100 meters to go, it's Keno Burrell into the straight. Demar Murray is giving chase though. Should be a close race to the line. But Keno Burrell holding off Murray from race. So Keno Burrell with the win, 46.93 is the flash time. Athlete from Racers. Demar Murray of GC Foster finishing second, 47.18 seconds. And in third, Lorenzo from Carmen Blazers, 48.27.
Well, a little bit disappointed there, Mr. Tapper. Was expecting to see Asafa Powell, and I'm sure a lot of persons were looking forward to seeing Asafa Powell at the 400 meters, but he disappointed yet again by pulling out and leaving a lot of people with a sense of anticlimax. But Akina Burrell, he did the job, 46.95 for the win there. Would have wanted a little bit of faster time, expecting these athletes, Burrell, Damar Murray, to start stepping up and get down to maybe a 46 low or maybe a 45 high. But they, for the last few years, seem to be stuck in the 46 range and not making much progress. I know that Murray has looked in the past to switch to 4 hurdles, so might be satisfied with the 47 in terms of his preparation for 4 hurdles. But where the world is now in terms of the 400 meters, I think that's going to be a little bit of a disappointing time for him personally.
Have to agree with you there. And we're on to heat number 2 of 2 in the men's 400 meters. Athletes are sent on their marks now. Jamoy Jackson of MVP in 1, Troy Whyte, GC Foster in 2, Terry Thompson in 4, John Barnes in 5, James King in 6, Paul Henry in lane 7, and Barrington Mitchell in 8. And already Paul Henry making up ground, and the athlete on his outside. That's Paul Henry from Cameron Blazers in 7. He adorns the sky blue, it seems, of St. George's College. So 200 meters to run. Paul Henry of Cameron Blazers takes a commanding lead. And it's inside though, not letting him go so easy. That's Jamoy Jackson of MVP as they turn the final corner. Jamoy Jackson is there. Henry beginning to fade. And Troy Whyte is finishing fast and is inside, so too Zanjian Barnes. Across the line though, it's Jamoy Jackson of MVP, 46.86 seconds of flash time. Confirmed 46.85, a personal best for Jamoy Jackson of MVP. Finishing second was Troy Whyte. Sorry, it was actually Zadrian Barnes, 47.04 seconds. That's a personal best as well. And for Troy Whyte, who finished third, 47.26. Finishing fourth was Terry Thomas, 47.54 seconds. Fifth, Paul Henry, 47.70 seconds. James King finishing in sixth with 47.95.
That's an interesting race, Mr. Tapper. Not necessarily the fastest time, 46.8. Again, as I said, I would have wanted our athletes at this point to be low 46. But the interesting thing for me is that I'm not too familiar with Jamoy Jackson. Looking at him though, he seems as if he is one for the future. I like his build, certainly his height, and he looked very comfortably running that 46.8. I think there's a lot more left where he is concerned. So I'll be watching him certainly. He looks as if he's one of the pet projects for the MVP camp. You know that MVP is known for finding those athletes, those no-name athletes, so to speak, and bringing them to the fore and bringing them certainly to the world's attention and maybe medal prospects.
So just ahead of the 200 meters, we go to a quick break, and then we come back with more live action here from the National Stadium.
Some of we have all sorts of excuses as to why we don't want to wear the mask. The place too hot. We're not used to it. It's not comfortable. Look, you know. Wake up and smell the country chocolate. Them excuse they're not gonna make it. Yeah, me know the place hot. But you don't want to feel COVID-19 fire in your lungs. And used to. The only way to get used to a thing is with practice. So practice and wear the mask.
Hosting a function or event? Want it to be streamed live on Facebook, YouTube, or Zoom? iView 365 can help you. We specialize in sporting events, stage shows, funerals, concerts, conferences, church services, graduations, and many more. Call or text us at 876-893-4157 or email anthonyfoss@gmail.com. That's ANTHONYFOS@gmail.com.
Hi, I'm Chris Tufton, Minister of Health and Wellness. Vaccination has always been a critical part of protecting the health of our Jamaican people. The more of us who get vaccinated, the greater our chances of slowing the spread of COVID-19. The COVID-19 vaccine now available to Jamaica has met all the required safety and quality standards. I will take the vaccine, so let's vaccinate to stay safe.
Message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Advertise on our live streaming on Track Alert's social media pages, which provides the most prominent online viewership from tracker to feeder meets in Jamaica. Your products will be seen by our large audience in Jamaica, the diaspora, and across the world. Book your spot in our live stream for a very small introductory fee. Call or text us at 876-893-4157 or email anthonyfoss@gmail.com. Trackalert.com from start to finish.
10.29 seconds for Johan Blake. An impressive run. So welcome back to live action inside the National Stadium. We're just ahead of the women's and men's 200 meters. Remember, we'll be seeing the likes of Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. She goes in heat 2.
So with the athletes out on the track, at trackside, the blocks being put down, section 1 of the time and finals are as follows. Lane number 2, Ishika Cameron MVP. Lane number 3, Indian National from MVP, Shashalee Nanda. Lane number 4, National Representative, Shashalee Forbes from Sprinting Track Club. Lane number 5, Tiffany James Rose from Cameron Blazers. Lane number 6, Anastasia Leroy from Sprinting Track Club. Lane number 7, Jura Levy from Legacy Athletics. And lane number 8, Candice Mccloud of MVP. Up close, lane 6, Anastasia Leroy on the personal best for the 2.85. Shashalee Forbes of lane 4 at the personal best of 22.71. Drew Levy, PB of 22.76. They may be the ones to watch.
So we're just ahead of heat 1, the women's 200 meters. Lane 2 from MVP will be Kashika Cameron, former Edwin Allen star. Lane 3, Sarbani Nanda of MVP, Indian national there. In lane number 4, representing Sprintec, will be Shashalee Forbes. Lane number 5, Tiffany James Rose of Cameron Blazers. In lane number 6, Anastasia Leroy from Sprintec. In lane 7, Jura Levy, Legacy Athletics. And in lane 8 will be Katisha Dallas of MVP. Athletes are now standing behind their blocks awaiting the starters' orders. Mr. Bruce James there, just checking to ensure everything is okay before the start of this one. For fast times from lanes 4, 5, and 6. Definitely can't count out Nanda though of MVP. She runs in lane number 3. Sent off now. On the inside, Shashalee Forbes moving very quickly. Has already eaten up ground on Tiffany James and Anastasia Roy. 120 meters to go. Shashalee Forbes takes control of this race. On the inside though, coming back is Nanda. And Nanda is closing in on Forbes. But it seems that Shashalee Forbes will just hold on. 23.85 the flash time for Shashalee Forbes. In second place was Sherbani Nanda. 23.91 seconds. And third, Anastasia Leroy, 24.09.
Interesting result there, Mr. Tapper. Shashalee Forbes, that first, I'd say 110 meters, looked crisp around the bend as well. She, of course, would want to stake a claim to the Olympics later in the 100 meters. Doing well here early in the season in the 200 meters. But I think this race is just a warm-up for the one to come with the reigning World 100 meter champion Shelly-Ann Fraser, the former collegiate sprint double champion Remoa Burchell, young star coming up Brianna Liston, Sada Williams, of Barbados, Rhoda Whyte, also former national champion, Stephenie-Ann McPherson. This heat coming up, Mr. Tapper, is loaded with quality. Loaded with quality. This is the one that we've come so far to see, and I think we're going to get a very, very fast time. Hopefully, that win that we got in the first race, negative 4.0, doesn't affect the times too much, and we could perhaps get something eye-popping this early in the season.
Definitely can look forward to an exciting race here. This is a season opener for Shelly-Ann. Pocket Rocket, she goes in 5. Sada Williams, she's in 4. Ronda Whyte in lane 6. Sent off now, but seems to have been called back. Perhaps some pre-race jitters. This is a pretty big race. I'm sure the athletes will be feeling some form of nerves. Sada Williams, a 3-time Bajan national 200 meter champion. Receiving news that Shanika Ricketts just jumped a world leading distance in the triple jump. We await the distance. But just before that, heat 2 of the women's 200 meters. Athletes are now on their marks.
14 what? 14 what?
Sent off away. This time, no call back, and already Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce moving very quickly off the corner. Shimeria Williams will have some chasing to do as well. Oh, no Shimeria Williams in this one. In fact, it's Stephenie-Ann McPherson, but there's no catching Fraser-Pryce. She comes across the line, 23.20 seconds. Not a bad time this early in the season into a negative wind of minus 1.6 meters per second. McPherson finished second, 23.47 seconds. And in third was Ronda Whyte, 23.49.
Well. If you thought in the first race there, Shashalee Forbes had a fantastic first 110, and you needed to see Shelly-Ann Fraser on that first 110. She looked crisp around that bend, came off ahead of everybody else, relaxed to 150, and just cruised it home. Didn't look at any stage as if she was ever going to be beaten. And I absolutely love that. It shows that early in the season, Shelly-Ann Fraser has that early speed under her, and she also has some amount of endurance under her. I like what I see here with the reigning world champion. I wonder if she's going to be doing the double, Mr. Tapper, at the Olympics. That certainly, this, I assume, would be her final Olympics, would be some way to go out in a bang. To do that double at the Olympics. It will be tough, no doubt, but she looks good early for the 200 meters, and certainly that first 110 meters, she looks excellent coming out of the blocks. But we of course know she's known for that, so keeping that reputation here today.
It's an exceptional run there by Fraser-Pryce as we turn our attention now to heat 1 of the men's 200 meters. And here's the lineup in heat 1. Mazina Barrett from Umona runs out of lane 2. Andre Dakers, GC Foster in 3. Kevin Stone of Risa's Track Club, he's in lane 4. Michael Sharp, GC Foster in 5. Junior Grant of GC Foster, he goes in 6. Nishan Ebanks of MVP in 7. And Owen Russell running out the field in lane 8 from Racers. Sent off now. Oh, called back again, so I'm not sure if there's something happening on the back stretch. This is the second or third race to be called back. But no one has been ejected just yet. So we'll wait and see. Look to lane 4. In this one, that's Kevin Stone from Racers.
I just want to announce that while we wait on the result or the action on the track, I want to provide a quick update on the women's triple jump where Shanika Ricketts has jumped a world leading time. I haven't gotten the distances yet, but the world leading right now is 14.26. The Olympic qualifying mark is 14.32. So confirmation on the distance shortly, but we'll have that for you as soon as we can get our hands on those results. But back to you, Mr. Tapper, and the men's 200 meters.
The athletes are behind their blocks, just awaiting the starters' orders once more. Your favorites are in lane 4, 5, and 6. That's Stone of Racers, Sharp and Grant of GC Foster. Sent off cleanly this time. And the athletes from GC Foster seem to be Michael Sharp, moving best of all now. And in the middle of the track is Sharp. Kevin Stone is getting back at him though. Sharp is fighting on the outside, but Sharp holds on. 21.76 seconds. Into a negative 3.8 meters per second headwind. So that's very strong winds to be running against. 21.76, not a bad time. Second place was Grant, 21.83 seconds. And finishing third, I believe must have been Kevin Stone at 21.90 seconds. So that rounds up section 1 of the men's 200 meters. Race won by Michael Sharp again, 21.76 seconds.
Excellent run there from Michael Sharp, Mr. Tupper. Michael Sharp is one of those athletes who has gotten a late lease on life. He's now mid-20s, now at GC Foster, but seems to be one of the diamonds in the rough that we'd be watching. The biggest name from GC Foster, of course, who fits that bill, would be Demish Gay, who started his athletics career a little bit late, but has come on well in the last few years to make World Championship finals, Jamaica national teams, etc., etc. So we'll be watching Michael Sharp to see if he's one of those diamonds in the rough that you find later on in life as they start to bloom. This race, second race coming up, heat number 2, will also be interesting as we have Julian Fort. I've been hearing things about Julian Fort in training. Let's see if they're true. We'll also have Zarnel Hughes, who has been competing consistently over the last couple of weeks and has been looking very good. The fast starting Andrew Fisher is also there, Akani Slater, Romario Williams. So this shapes up to be an exciting 200 meters race, Mr. Tapper. Sending it back to you now.
Should be an exciting race indeed. The current world lead, 20.49, ran last week on this very track by Miguel. My apologies. Not by Miguel Francis. Miguel Francis actually is second fastest 200 meters in the world this year. Athletes are on their marks, and we get ready for this one. The sent off now. The number of starters doesn't seem to be there, but Fort is definitely there, and he's moving best of all. Comes into the straight now with the lead and stops as Romario Williams pulls away with this one. So Romario Williams from Sprint Tech finishes first in lane 4, finishing second. Andrew Fisher, also of Sprint Tech, wind negative 3.7 meters per second. That being the case, that was a very, very good run for the young Romario Williams. Ran an impressive 400 meters last week. He was a collegiate sprint double champion in 2018, so he's showing some great form here early. His first 200 meters of the season. Second, Andrew Fisher, 21.97, the Bahrainian national. He has been battling injuries over the past couple of weeks, so he's just rounding back into shape. Third was Slater, 21.99. So no Zarnel Hughes. He was supposed to be in lane 6. Definitely a big name missing there as we look to section 3 of the men's 200 meters.
Romario Williams. He, of course, from Sprint Tech, same home camp as the GC Foster athletes, 21.28, running into negative wind. Looks impressive. The final 50 meters, though, for me, showed his 400 meters strength. He managed to step away from the field. But this next heat coming up will be the big one. Miguel Francis, the world leader. The former world leader is now number 2. We had youngster from Barbados yesterday taking the world lead. Just yesterday taking the world lead. And then we have Oblique Civil, an athlete that I am looking forward to seeing how he progresses over this season. So this will be the big one. Let's see what happens here.
So just to give you the rundown once more, Sam Smith of MVP, he's in lane number 1. Dean McPherson of GC Foster in 2, Javon Minzy in 3, Oblique Seville, he's in lane number 4, watch out for him. Anthony Carpenter in 5, Miguel Francis, world number 2, currently he's in number 6, lane number 6. Michael Bentley, no Michael Bentley. Javoy Tucker either. So Bentley is actually there. But in the middle of the track, it's Oblique Seville leading this race from start to finish, staying tall, looking powerful. Bentley on the outside in lane 7 trying to keep stride with him, but there's no catching Oblique Seville. 21.01 meters, 21.01 seconds into a negative 3.3 meter per second headwind. An impressive time from the youngster. Finishing second was Michael Bentley, now at Legacy Track Club, was at the MVP a couple of years last year. 20 his time 21.45 in second, and in third was Anthony Carpenter, 21.69.
Remember the name, Oblique Seville. What an easy run. The man looks as if he hasn't gotten up out of bed yet. 21.03 into a negative win, making everybody look as if they're not trying. Oblique Seville didn't have some of the big names turning up. The Miguel Francis and others didn't have them turning up, but it looked as if they did turn up. Oblique Seville would have handed them a defeat here today. Looking at the clock with 30 meters to go, looking all over the place except ahead of him, looking very, very easy. Oblique Seville. Oh my word, remember the name, remember the name.
We go now to a commercial break before we get into the sprint hurdles here, followed by the 100 meters. Soon come.
Some of we have all sorts of excuse as to why we don't want to wear the mask. The place too hot. We're not used to it. It not comfortable. Look you know. Wake up and smell the country chocolate. Them excuse they not gonna make it. Yeah, me know the place hot. But you don't want to feel COVID-19 fire in your lungs. And used to. The only way to get used to a thing is with practice. So practice and wear the mask.
Come, hosting a function or event, want it to be streamed live on Facebook, YouTube or Zoom? iView 365 can help you. We specialize in sporting events, stage shows, funerals, concerts, conferences, church services, graduations, and many more. Call or text us at 876-893-4157 or email anthonyfoss@gmail.com. That's ANTHONYFOS@gmail.com.
Hi, I'm Chris Tufton, Minister of Health and Wellness. Vaccination has always been a critical part of protecting the health of our Jamaican people. The more of us who get vaccinated, the greater our chances of slowing the spread of COVID-19. The COVID-19 vaccine now available to Jamaica has met all the required safety and quality standards. I will take the vaccine, so let's vaccinate to stay safe.
Message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Advertise on our live streaming on Track Alert's social media pages, which provides the most prominent online viewership from tracker to feeder meets in Jamaica. Your products will be seen by our large audience in Jamaica, the diaspora, and across the world. Book your spot in our live stream for a very small introductory fee. Call or text us at 876-893-4157. or email anthonyfoss@gmail.com. Trackalerts.com from start to finish.
10.29 seconds for Johan Blake. An impressive run. So welcome back to the National Stadium at Kingston, Jamaica. It is now 5:18 p.m. local time, and the men's sprint hurdles will be on track next. 3 competitors registered for that one, but only seeing 2 hurdlers at the moment. Oh, here's the third, that is Norman Petersgill. Looking now at the triple jump runway as officials get the sand prepared for the athlete who will be jumping next. So we still await the distance for the world leading jump. by Shanika Ricketts as her teammate readies to make her attempt. Very technical event, the triple jump. It's not as easy to hit the board as they make it seem. It's also extremely important for the athlete to have very, very good leg strength, lots of coordination and balance. It's an event that comes with many, many injuries, and if you find that you're successful, it means you're working extremely hard. So that's Sandisha Antoine from Ricketts Performance. Isn't requesting a clap from the very few coaches that are here, as COVID regulations stipulate. Down the runway she goes. Seemed pretty flat after hitting the board and decided to abort the jump. The official raises the red flag there. Sun just beginning to go down a bit, causing the stadium to cool ahead of the flat events. The action now in the men's triple jump. Oh, the officials seem to have been signaling the wrong athlete there. May have been some confusion. Actually, Shanika Ricketts is going to jump now. Current world leader. Shanika Ricketts asks for a clap. Her teammates and coaches around her. As is customary, she rocks back and begins to power down the runway now. Ooh. Seem to have gotten a little off balance and as a result did not complete the jump. As I was saying, a very technical event, the triple jump. Simplest mistake will throw off your entire rhythm, so to the athletes that do train and compete here, it takes a lot. Hurdles crew currently setting out the hurdles and are spraying it with what seems to be a disinfectant agent, trying to keep the sport safe for the athletes and officials.
So after Marshall had hard, without taking his third attempt at 205, the bar goes up to 2.10 meters with two competitors.
The athletes are behind their blocks now for the men's 110-meter hurdles. The hurdles are out and ready, and the athletes seem to be ready as well. Three athletes here in this one. Man to watch is in the middle. Rashid Broadbell from MVP. Ran 13.71 seconds last week. We're looking to better his time this week. In lane 3 will be Norman Petersgold of MVP, and in lane 5 Lloyd Facey of MVP. Sent off now. And already, Broadbell begins to take the ascendance. He's accelerating. He'll be looking to the clock for sure. Going to the line. 13.71 seconds of flash time. So 13.71 seconds last week, 13.71 seconds again today. We'll be looking back at the footage of that one to see what exactly he can fix for next week. In second was Peter's Gayle, 14.55 seconds, and in third, Facey, 14.82.
Excellent run there in terms of early season time from Rashid Broadbell, former St. Jago athlete, 13.17 seconds, waiting on the wind reading. But so far, we've had a lot of negative wind. Don't think that has actually changed. What's a negative 0.6? So not a lot of headwind, but certainly some there. Still 13.71 seconds. Early in the season for me is impressive. The Olympic qualifying mark 13.32 seconds, but based on how he ran that hurdle, I think he hit about 4 or 5 hurdles. If he can clean that up in terms of his hurdling technique and get a lot cleaner over the hurdles, then we're looking at possibly getting to 13.32 seconds and qualifying for the Olympics. But then he's going to have the problem of making the team. You have Damian Thomas, Hansel Parchment, Ronald Levy, and of course the reigning Olympic champion Omar McLeod. So that team will be very, very difficult to make. And then of course there's the dark horses such as Philip Lemonius, who's been doing well overseas lately, and then you have the likes, of course, of Rohan Cole. So that race, the men's high hurdles, 110 meters hurdles, will be one of the races to watch at the Jamaican trials. And Rashid Broadbell coming out here today and showing the kind of times that we're expecting, or even faster, at those Olympic trials. 13.71 for Broadbell this early in the season, I think, is impressive. Oh, I also have to remember Jura Russell and Orlando Bennett. There you go. So each time I call a name, there are 2 other names I can call. And each time I call 2 other names, I remember another name. So that, just making the finals at the trials, will be a difficult task for any athlete hoping to make the team to the Tokyo Olympics. I think the next event on track now, Mr. Tapper, is the much anticipated 100 meters. 100 meters on track, folks. And I'm going to tell you, I'm looking forward to a couple of girls. They're not senior athletes, as far as I'm told. They won't be competing at the Olympics, but they're exciting talents. That's the Clayton twins, Tia and Tina. We'll be looking for other names in terms of their performances, their fast times and stuff. But for me, it's those 2 junior girls who excite me in terms of their athletics ability and what they are going to be able to do today. For the women, we also have the likes of Ashanti Moore, former Edwin Allen athlete, who will be competing on the day, and Idle athlete from Ashanti Moore Heidel, right? So Ashanti Moore from Heidel, she signed with Adidas recently. I understand that she's still out here training in Jamaica, waiting on her work permit to actually be granted so she can train with Lance Brahman, who now would be conditioning her going forward. Also have the likes of Jura Levy coming up, and that's just on the women's side, where we haven't even started to talk about the men. So exciting action to come. Wind kicking up a little bit, so might not have those fast times I was talking about, as we might have some more stronger headwinds to come. But let's see how fast we actually get today. Well, let's see the times before we actually predict them. So back to you, Mr. Tapper, for more commentary.
So the lineup for this heat 1 of 2 in the women's 100 meters. In lane 2, Kristen Laidlaw from MVP. In lane 3, Tia Clayton, she's representing Edwin. In lane 4, Jura Levy of Legacy Athletics. In lane 5 will be Tina Clayton of Edwin Allen, that's her twin sister. In lane 6, Griselle Scarlett of MVP. And in lane 7, Tony and Lindsay of GC Foster College. Now this will be a season opener for Tia Clayton. Her sister has run 4 times so far. Has a season best of 12.42 seconds. She ran that a couple weeks ago at the Stets meet, the very first weekend of track meets in Jamaica actually. And I'm sure they'll be looking to go fast here. The skies are beginning to get dark though, and the wind is turning inside the National Stadium, so we're not sure what to expect as far as the wind will permit, but nevertheless we're here and we're excited for this race to come. Athletes just setting and testing their blocks now. I'm sure Jura Levy can understand the situation that the Clayton twins find themselves in. She was once a high school star. Athletes are on their marks. No Jura Levy in this one. She was supposed to be in lane number 4. Sent off now. Tia Clayton on the inside gets a better start than her sister Tina. As they power down the stretch now, it's them versus the clock, and here comes Tina Clayton now on the outside. 11.63 seconds, a very fast time. The wind speed negative 3.2 meters per second. So when you take that into consideration, we can imagine how fast she would have gone if the wind might have been in positive. 11.64 again for Tina Clayton. Second was Tia Clayton, 11.85 seconds, and finishing third was Griselle Scarlett. Fourth, Griselle Scarlett, 12.08 seconds, and in fourth was Kristen Laidlaw of MVP, 13.18.
Excellent start there from Tia, and then Tina taking the race over after 60 meters, but the time 11.6 into a negative 3.2 meters per second wind says to me that she right now is probably in 11.4 seconds form without any wind. Says also that the twins are ready. They haven't been sitting on their laurels. They're ready to run. They're still fast, and they're probably the fastest juniors we have in terms of junior female 100-meter runners in the island right now. They though still second year class 2, so the class 2 girls will have a hard time going up against the Clayton twins. But it's the big race, I'd say, to come now with Ashanti Moore, Shimeria Williams, who I saw last week equaling her personal best in the 200 meters. We also have Natasha Morrison and Jodine Williams. So this is going to be a very, very big race for the fans listening on. You may want to just turn the kettle off, take about 11 seconds out of your day to watch this race, because this is going to be a humdinger.
So it seems all the athletes have reported for this one. The lineup is something like this: Michaela Moody of MVP in lane 2, Ashanti Moore, Adidas in 3, Shimeria Williams, Elite Performance, she's in 4, Natasha Morrison of MVP, she's in lane number 5, Jodine Williams of Racers Track Club in 6, and Shannon Allison of GC Foster in lane 7. Shannon Allison, a former Homewood captain. anchored their 4x1 team at the Gibson Relays last year, has had some injury concerns. The young sprint hurdler. She's in lane 7. And Natasha Morrison, she has run 10.96 seconds at her best a couple years ago. It's her first 100 meters for the season, run 23.4 last week at 200 meters, so she has been running well. And of course, as you alluded to earlier, Shimeria Williams, 11:33 last week. Will be looking to go a bit faster, but we have to watch the wind as the sky darkens. Definitely can't count out Ashanti Moore, 23:24 last week. 2019 girls class 100 meter champion. So there seems to be a slight change to the lineup. In lane 1, we'll now have Jura Levy of Legacy Athletics. She was supposed to be in Heat 1 and has been moved into Heat number 2. Athletes are ready and awaiting the starters' orders. And you can look at lanes 3, 4, and 5. For the possible leaders in this one. Some of these athletes may be vying for spots on the team to the World Relays later on this year. There has been one other addition. That would be Tony-Ann Lindsay. She's just getting to set and test her blocks. She's in lane number 8. So the lineup once more. Jura Levy in 1. Mikhail Moody, MVP in 2. Ashanti Moore, Adidas in 3. Shimeria Williams, Elite Performance in 4. Natasha Morrison of MVP, she's in 5. Jodine Williams, Racers Track Club in 6. Shannon Allison in 7. And Tony-Ann Lindsay in 8. Sent off now. Shimeria Williams beginning to command this race. Natasha Morrison is chasing. 50 meters to go. Shimeria Williams and Natasha Morrison battling to the line. Seems to be Morrison just ahead of Shimeria Williams. And finishing third was Ashanti Moore. Wind speed negative 1.6 meters per second. So it wasn't as strong as the race before, but still was pretty strong wind. Natasha Morrison taking the win, 11.42 seconds. Shimeria Williams finishing second, 11.45 seconds. Finishing third was Ashanti Moore in 11.59.
Well, I called it, Mr. Tapper. Shimeria Williams, for me, looked as if she is going to trouble the apple carts later in the season. But for this race, it was Natasha Morrison. I have to mention that Williams got up ahead of her. She actually, in the final 10 meters or so, was able to respond to the early lead from Shimeria Williams and actually nipped her at the line with Ashanti Moore coming in for third, but looking to be well beaten. But I tell you folks, I know how to call them. Shimeria Williams a couple of years ago was touted to be the next after Elaine Thompson. Remember, Shelly-Ann Fraser break through, and then we had Elaine Thompson being touted as the next. She came through. Shimeria Williams was touted as the next find from MVP. She did not make that transition. went about from the hurdles to the sprints and now seems to have come back to home, which is the sprints after being hurdles for a couple of years, doing the 100-meter hurdles, the 200 meters. She seems to have finally settled into the sprints. And from what I've seen here today and seen over the last couple of weeks, I'd say don't write her off. Natasha Morrison beat her today, of course, in 10.42, but Natasha Morrison is a seasoned campaigner, is a sub-11 sprinter, and for her to have that sort of heartache from Williams, it says that Williams might just be on the improve, and we'll watch that one. But on the winner on the day here, Natasha Morrison, she still has supremacy.
Next on track now, the men's 100 meters. We have 3 heats in that one, 3 sections in that one, my apologies. And that will close the show for this afternoon. So in heat 1 will be Washington Brown of GC Foster. In heat 1, lane 2, my apologies, Washington Brown of GC Foster. In lane 3, Kareem Small MVP. In lane 4, Akeem Williams of UE Mona. In lane 5, Samuel Rowe of Ricketts Performance. In lane 6, Jalen Diet of MVP. In lane 7, Odario Phillips, UE Mona. And in lane 8, Wayne Gordon of Racers Track Club. Temperature is dropping a bit as grey clouds continue to cover the National Stadium. We're scheduled for a 6 p.m. finish. Started a little bit delayed, but it seems we'll be finished at just around that time today, as the athletes have been directed to stand behind their blocks just before the official orders to get this race underway.
Lane 2, Washington Brown. Lane 3, Kareem Small. Lane 4, Akeem Williams. Lane 5, Samuel Rowe. Lane 6, Jalen Diet. Lane 7, Odario Phillips. And lane 8, Wayne Gordon.
There seems to be a few athletes missing in this section of the men's 100 meters. Just 4 athletes have reported. Kareem Small had an impressive run last week. Expect that he'll be challenging Rowe. Sorry, Williams of Mona in lane 4. Sent off now. And it's Rowe of UE Mona who has the lead just ahead of Phillips of Mona. So Rowe and Phillips of Mona, 10.88 the flash time for Williams. That's yes, Akeem Williams, 10.88 for first, takes heat. Section 1 of the men's 100 meters. In second was Phillips, Odario Phillips of UE Mona, 10.99 seconds, and finishing third was in fact Kareem Small. It seems like they've given it to Diet. That's 11.23 seconds. Small and Brown finishing fourth, 11.25. Wind speed negative 1.8 meters per second. As we're ready for section 2 of the men's 100 meters. It is in this race we'll get to see the national record holder In long jump, that's Tajay Gayle. He runs out of lane number 2. Here's the lane draw for that one. In lane 1, Hakeem Blake from Titans. Lane 2, Tajay Gayle, MVP. Lane 3, Javon Rollins of GC Foster. In lane 4, Ramon Barneswell of MVP. Lane 5, Edward Clark of Legacy Athletics. In lane 6, Richmel Miller of Racers. In lane 7, Chadwick Hines of Sprint Tech. And in lane 8 will be Kemar Green of Elite Performance. Kemar Green involved in a false start ruling last week. Seems to have been some controversy around that, but he's back here today and will get a chance to compete out of lane 8.
Mr. Tapper, this one for me will be interesting because I'm looking at the future and I'm also looking at the field. When I say future, I mean Hakeem Blake is one that has impressed me over the last couple of years, hasn't managed to stay fully fit, and that has held his progress back last couple of years, but I think he's one with a lot of talent, and he's one that I'll be watching out for as he progresses through the rank. When I say field, I mean Tajay Gayle. I expect Tajay Gayle to be among the money, so to speak, later on in the year in the long jump. He here competing in the 100 meters to get some early speed in the speed essential in long jumping. But back to you for commentary on the race proper.
So the ones to watch for me will be Gayle out of lane 2 for MVP. Has a personal best of 10.42 seconds. Ran that 2 years ago. Told that he's very fast, so we can look to see what he'll do today. Barneswell should do well as well. And Miller of Racers Track Club. So they're calling back this race now.
Lane 4 was empty, so would be for lane 5, Edward Clark, and non-starter Elizabeth.
So no Edward Clark from Legacy out of lane 5. These are sent back behind their blocks to reset and go again. Sent off now. Gayle out well, and so too is Barneswell. And Tajay Gayle begins to pull away from the field. Hakeem Blake is right there with him. And it will be Gayle 10.70 seconds ahead of Hakeem Blake and Ramon Barneswell. We await the final times. That's Tajay Gayle 10.70 seconds. Wind speed negative 2.9 meters per second, so not a bad time there. Second was Hakeem Blake 10.75, and in third Ramon Barneswell 10.91 seconds.
Well, we mentioned it. It was the field versus the future. The field winning here. Tajay Gayle 10.70 seconds. He wanting to tell the future, I know the present, I'm not going to lose to you. 10.70, not exactly an Olympic qualifying time, but still proper racing there from Tajay Gayle. Hakeem Blake, though, 10.75, he would be encouraged by that run as well.
Yes, a very good run there by the young Hakeem Blake, training with the Titans Track Club now. Was a student at Morant Bay High School a couple of years ago. Looked impressive at high school championships. Just 19 years old now, training with the likes of Johan Blake and Kemar Bailey Cole. So that is some amount of motivation. And running well here at the Velocity Fest 8 as we turn to the final heat and the final event on track at the Velocity Fest 8 track meet. In lane number 1 is Cajun Golson from GC Foster. In lane 2, Nigel Ellis of MVP. In lane 3, Emmanuel Callender of Swept Track Club. In lane 4, Oshane Bailey of Sprint Tech. In lane 5, Nesta Carter of MVP. In lane 6, Brendan Rodney of Sprint Tech. In lane 7, Tyreke Wilson of Legacy Athletics. And in lane number 8 is Makish Compton from GC Foster. Nigel Ellis, a high school champion, sprint double champion from St. Elizabeth Technical a couple years ago. Ran 21.0 seconds in 200 meters last week. Actually, it does not show up. So he should have been here, but he is not. Emmanuel Callender, 10.5 last week. And Oshane Bailey, he goes in lane number 5. Ran 20.8 at 200 meters last week. 2010 national championship champion at 100 meters. Expect him to get out fast. And they have been called back again. Not sure if there's some issue happening with the starting equipment. There have been a number of races called back today, and I haven't seen anybody being ejected, so I suspect all athletes will get a chance to regroup, refocus, and get ready to run once more.
Keep your eyes on the middle of the track. Oshane Bailey goes Sprint. Nesta Carter, MVP.
The ones to watch in this one is Oshane Bailey in lane number 5. In lane 6 should be Nesta Carter. Nesta Carter, 9.7 seconds at his best, and he was a part of that team that broke the world record in the Rio Olympics. He was the lead-off leg on that special 4x1. Final event on track, section 3 of the men's 100 meters. Shane Bailey in lane 4, Nesta Carter in lane 5. Brendan Rodney, representing Canada, he's in lane number 6. He was bronze in that 4x1. Sent off now, Shane Bailey gets out to a quick start. There will be no catching him. Nesta Carter is chasing though, but Oshane Bailey holds him off. 10.41 seconds. An impressive run there. Point for Oshane Bailey. Finishing second was Nesta Carter in 10.51, and Brendan Rodney finished third in 10.68 seconds. That was into a negative 1.8 meters per second headwind. So that is your top 3. Fourth was Cajun Golson in 10.75 seconds. Emmanuel Callender finished 5th in 10.86. And Makish Compton finished 6th in 10.89 seconds. Shane Bailey showing great form. Early season, definitely a man up for selection in May for the World Relays. Should be in Poland later on. These men will be looking to get down to some faster times later in the year in order to qualify for the Olympics. Olympic qualifiers. The bar has been set extremely high for that. In order for you to qualify as a man in the 100 meters, you have to run a time of 10.05 seconds. So you need to be running extremely fast to make it to Tokyo.
The wearing of your mask and, very importantly, social distancing at all times. 1 seat between you and the other.
The skies continue to roll over. Seems we are being promised some rain. Fortunately, it was before the track events had ended. After, my apologies, after track events have ended.
Williams, Richard's performance 7.41. He leads the men. Apologies, he leads the men, while on the female side, Melissa Walker. 5.75 meters. They now get into round number 4.
So as the officials begin to pack up the men's long jump, still going on in the field. The last attempt at foul in the men's long jump, and this is how we'll be closing out live action here from the National Stadium. Thank you so much for watching live on Track Alerts TV, and we do hope you enjoyed the coverage. Until next time.
Some of we have all sorts of excuse as to why we don't want to wear the mask. The place too hot. We're not used to it. It's not comfortable. Look, you know. Wake up and smell the country chocolate. Them excuse they're not gonna make it. Yeah, me know the place hot. But you don't want to feel COVID-19 fire in your lungs. And used to. The only way to get used to a thing is with practice. So practice and wear the mask.
Streamed live on Facebook, YouTube, or Zoom, iView 365 can help you. We specialize in sporting events, stage shows, funerals, concerts, conferences, church services, graduations, and many more. Call or text us at 876-893-4157 or email anthonyfoss@gmail.com. That's ANTHONYFOS@gmail.com.
Hi, I'm Chris Tufton, Minister of Health and Wellness. Vaccination has always been a critical part of protecting the health of our Jamaican people. The more of us who get vaccinated, the greater our chances of slowing the spread of COVID-19. The COVID-19 vaccine now available to Jamaica has met all the required safety and quality standards. I will take the vaccine, so let's vaccinate to stay safe.
Message from the Ministry of Health and
Advertise on our live streaming on Track Alert's social media pages, which provides the most prominent online viewership from tracker to feeder meets in Jamaica. Your products will be seen by our large audience in Jamaica, the diaspora, and across the world. Book your spot in our live stream for a very small introductory fee. Call or text us at 876-893-4157 or email anthonyfoss@gmail.com. Trackalerts.com from start to finish.
10.29 seconds for Johan Blake. An impressive run.
Advertise on our live streaming on Track Alert's social media pages, which provides the most prominent online viewership from tracker to feeder meets in Jamaica.